Hello, welcome back to another episode of Tina's Arena. How do I develop thick skin? Can somebody let me know? Also, am I talking too fast? Because when I listen to podcasts, I listen to it on 2 times speed. And I feel like because that's what I'm used to, that's how fast I'm talking right now to most people. And when I listen to someone on 1 time speed, it literally sounds like they are talking in slow motion, and I just cannot. I cannot. So this is my normal talking speed, and if you're listening to this at 2 times speed, that must be crazy. Anyways, what was my question? How do I develop thick skin? And why did that come up in my head? Because am I talking about this too much? But somebody on my Facebook a few weeks ago said I was canceled because I posted a professional photo of me. And he said, what was my post about? My post was about eating disorders and my healing journey and whatever. And he was saying that I was immediately canceled because I posted a professional photo while claiming to not care about my looks or whatever. I'm healed, claiming to be healed. And I, number one, never claim to not care about my looks. Hello, eating disorders. And number two, I'm sorry that I posted a professional photo. I don't know. Why did this come up again? Oh yeah, because if you're watching me on YouTube right now, I look like a hot mess in my eyes anyway. I just came from the gym. My hair could be cleaner and I'm not wearing any makeup, and I was brushing my hair out off camera just earlier than this. I am a mess. I have not cleaned my shelf. There's stuff here. In no way have I ever claimed to be perfect, and in no way have I ever claimed to be completely healed or the person with all of the answers. I think if you know me, then you know that I question everything. I question myself all of the time. And look at me. I show up as is a lot of time because I don't think it's fair to perpetuate this image that perfection is reality. That broke me. That broke me when I was the one that was consuming content because I was comparing myself to everyone else's perfection and their screen that they put online. And I thought that I was just immensely broken and I had so much work to do in order to compare myself to all of them. So I don't ever try to look too perfect online. I don't think, I've posted photos and videos of makeup and stuff, but I don't ever try to claim to be the perfect person with all of the answers because I think that's wrong. And anyone that has that persona, you should really question them. And you should really maybe not follow that person anymore because are they good for you? I don't know. So again, I don't know if I've been talking about this guy too much. This guy kind of got to me because he wasn't a complete random internet troll. But again, I'm learning and I'm growing. And I guess I've been putting my power in other people's hands for so long that I'm still kind of learning how to take it back. And so my thing is that I grew up pretty neglected. I was never starving, but I was emotionally neglected. And I didn't learn a lot of things, which I'm not blaming anyone. What was that saying? It's not your fault, but it's definitely your problem. It's not it's not my fault. And I don't blame other people for being emotionally neglected, but I'm realizing that I missed out on a lot of things. I'm going to get emotional. And I'm just reparenting myself and relearning everything that I missed previously. One of those things One of those things that I realized that I was missing was close friendships, because I wasn't allowed to ever really leave my house when I was younger. I wasn't encouraged to make friends. I had cousins, which was great, but they were all older than me, so it wasn't really a friendship kind of relationship. But yeah, so I was having dinner with my two friends one day, and they grew up together for a very long time, and they were still friends. This was like, we were in our 30s now, and they were just talking about their childhood growing up together, all these memories and good times. And in that moment, I was like, oh shit, I didn't have any of this. So that was a sad moment for me. But I do have great friendships now. I need to stop crying. Is my period coming? Oh, I think it might be. So yeah. That was a moment for me when I was like, oh wow, I missed out on a lot when I grew up, how I grew up. Yeah, so that was one moment. And then lately, my meditation teacher, she is an amazing woman, an amazing teacher. And things I've been noticing about her, the way that she talks about herself with such conviction and such knowing, the way she talks about herself and her life, her partner, it's incredible to see and witness, because I mean, this is my interpretation of her. I'm not going to tell you who she is if you don't already know. But like, when she talks about herself, she is so sure of her value and her worth and her knowledge and herself, just everything. Like, you can completely tell in the way that she communicates. And it's such a contrast to me and how I communicate, because I'm always like, oh, I think da 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 da, like, oh yeah, probably, oh maybe, yeah, maybe, I'm always unsure about myself and about a lot of things, and I'm always flippy floppy, because I don't know, I've always tried to keep the peace, so I've always, shifted my personality, I've always shifted my preferences, or I didn't have preferences. It was just like, whatever you wanted to do, I would do, because that would keep the peace, right? I was malleable. I am very malleable still. And that's really been hard for me, because it's been a journey of self-discovery to figure out who I really am, just because I've been so adaptive and I've had to keep the peace in so many ways. So that was another thing that I've realized since having this meditation teacher come into my life. Like, wow, like, I didn't know somebody could feel that way about themselves. And I wish that I could feel so sure about myself, which I guess ties back into the way that I started this podcast. Like, how do I solidify my self-worth? And how do I stop letting internet trolls get to me? Which I have learned is a practice and something that I'm getting better at all of the time. I feel more sure of myself now than I did growing up. So that's a start. I think what really helps is that I've created a safe environment for myself. I've distanced all of the people that don't allow me to express myself. All the people in my life people in my life right now are really helping me grow and becoming the person that I am meant to be. So, this wasn't the original intended topic of this podcast, but that's where it went. So how are ways that I have increased my self-worth over the years? It's still quite shaky, but it is better and it's getting better. Number one, what do they call it? Self-deprecating jokes. That's how. No. I think it's just doing things that make me uncomfortable and realizing that being uncomfortable is a part of life. Because I guess when I compared myself to people on social media, they all looked like they were having so much fun. Life was great. They never struggled. And impressionable Tina thought that that was all real. And so when I struggled, I thought that meant something was wrong with me. Oopsies. And so I just wish that people would share more of their struggles, because it just humanizes everybody. And that's why I share my struggles. Yeah. I don't really have a target audience or anything for this podcast. It's been really hard for me to define my niche, because most of the time I'm just talking to myself. I'm talking to my younger self. All of the things that I wish I could have told her back then, or all of the things that I wish she would have known. So that's basically it. I'm just talking to myself and hoping that whoever needs to hear this will hear it. So, yeah. I'd been really struggling to continue posting episodes because I really didn't know what to talk about. And it's really hard for me to have a conversation with myself for 20 minutes and not have it go completely sideways and bonkers, to remain on topic somehow and make it all make sense, and also doesn't make me seem crazy. So that's why these episodes have been kind of on and off, but I am really, really trying to set the intention this year to post podcasts and videos on YouTube more regularly. If you're listening to this on audio, know that the video versions will also be available. If you want to sit together and jam for a little bit, these videos are on YouTube. And I'm going to spend more time mapping out my episodes and having topics and order. I'm going to really try to have order in these episodes going forward. So if you stick around, I love actually editing. It's a complete time suck to edit videos, but I happen to enjoy it. So I hopefully will make these videos a little bit flashy and nice to go on YouTube. I will hope to see more of you guys this year. So thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Tina's Arena, where I just kind of show up and play, and we all play together and we have fun. Okay? So see you next week.